Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we're going to be doing a pumpkin spice inspired look today. I did want to do a complete drugstore affordable video, and I know we are moving out of hot girl summer, and I was talking to some people the other day and everybody was like, it's Thotumn. And I was like, what the hell is that? And apparently it is what happens when hot girl summer meets pumpkin spice latte. So we're going to be doing a Thotumn on a budget autumn look. So this is the look right here. It is very fall appropriate. It is nice and orangey. It is something that you can totally throw on with a nice scarf and enjoy your Uggs and pumpkin spice latte. So if that's something you're into, make sure to keep on watching. And please don't forget to subscribe because I do upload 3 times a week. And that is the best way to stay up to date on all the fun stuff I'm posting. So if you want to see how we achieve this look right here using only affordable drugstore products, keep on watching. The first thing we're going to do is eyes. So I'm just going to grab my Vera Mona by Sephora color switch because I'm not going to say all of my brushes are dirty. I'm just going to say my favorite brushes are dirty and I still want to use them. So what I love about this is I can literally take a brush that I used earlier to do an olive smoky eye, swirl it in this, and this brush is now clean with no product so that I can actually go in with literally any other color. So for the eye look today, I have this like pumpkin spice glam in my head, very warm tone, very orange based. And for that, I am going to be using the Revolution Beauty Makeup Revolution and Jack collaboration. This has been sitting on my vanity for literally probably like 2 months. This came out in July and I wanted to feature it because first off, Boys in Beauty getting recognition is amazing. Second off, I love Jack. I've been following him forever. Third off, this palette is stunning and has pretty much everything you would need to do pretty much anything. So I'm going to be focusing on like the warm tones. I'm not sure if I'm going to go brassy or gold, but we're going to be playing around with this. I am going to zoom you guys in. All right. So I'm going to start with the salmony orange shade on a fluffy brush. And I'm going to lean my head back and take that right in the crease. That is beautiful. I'm going to take a tiny bit more and I'm just going to blend it up higher. I want this to be a little bit more blown out than I normally do my eyeshadow. Normally I'll keep it like tight to the eye and just blended, but today we are taking it not into the brow, but very high up towards the brow. Then I'm going to go into this deeper shade here, and rather than taking that, like normally I'll dip in on the side of the brush, for this I'm dipping in right in the tip, and I'm going to put that directly in the socket of the eye, and I'm just going to define the crease. And now that that crease is defined, I'm going to go into the lighter orange shade one more time and just blend up in that transition area. I'm not taking this into the socket, I'm taking this shade above the socket just to make sure that that orange is really blown out. Then I'm going to dip into this chocolatey brown right next door, and I'm going to take that on the outer third of the eye, and I'm really going to pat that in, and then once I kind of have that softly pressed into the outer portion of the eye, then I'm going to go back into that first brush and just blend the crease. I do want to keep that shade pretty like solid on the outer portion of the eye. I don't want it to be like super blended out. I really just want to make sure that it is in that area and then diffused. And then once that diffusion is done, I'm just going to intensify that and blend it into, I want to say about halfway on the lid. So it's going to be the most intense on the outer portion and then a whole lot softer towards the center of the eye. And I'm not really taking it on the inner portion because I'm going in there. One last time, we're just going to blend up the crease. Then dipping into the matte like white, I'm just going to hit up the brow bone and actually blend that like into the brow just to make sure that there is a clear divide where that orange meets the brow. I don't know if I want to go gold or bronzy. I think I'm going to go bronzy. So I'm going to take this shade right here and I'm going to load that up on a packing brush. And I am going to wet it slightly. So since this is a budget-friendly video, I'm going to be using the Wet n Wild Cucumber 3-in-1 Primer Water. And I'm going to, where's my mirror? I'm going to press that on the lid. Oh, that is stunning. Then taking that clean brush, I'm just going to blend around the crease. And then dipping back, what I hope is the last time, into the chocolate brown shade, I'm just going to lightly press that back on the outer portion of the eye. And then one last time dipping into the lightest orange shade, I'm just going to blend around the crease because I do really want to make sure that that salmon-y orange is really noticeable around the eye. Beautiful. Nice, blown out, smoky, very pretty. And normally this is where I would then go in with makeup wipe to clean up any under eye fallout, but there really isn't any, and I am going to be using concealer to kind of reshape. So I'm going to zoom you guys back out. For mascara, I'm going to throw on the Essence Volume Stylist. I used this in a first impressions video earlier in the month, and I still really like it. I definitely feel like it coats my lashes nicely, and I don't love it on its own, but because I will be going in with falsies today, I think this is going to be really nice for prepping my lashes and getting them ready for my falsies. So you see how this is a pretty good mascara on its own, but I'm going to go finish up the other eye with mascara, throw on my falsies, and I will be right back. For falsies today, I will be wearing, I'll link these down below, but I get these on Amazon. They are the Christina lashes in the style Wisp. They are just a really pretty fluttery lash. So I'm going to go throw these on, and I'll be right back. All right, lashes are on. To prime the face, I'm going to take the Collab Beauty Fundamental Smoothing Primer. I've been using this on and off for, I want to say like 2 years. And compared to like the Benefit Professional, it is a much thinner consistency that I find prolongs the makeup quite nicely. Benefit, I find actually, it causes my makeup to separate, but it does blur and smooth. This is a much thinner texture, so it almost feels more like a lotion, but the way that it causes everything to just sit nicely on the skin is beautiful and genuinely like poreless. For foundation, I'm going to go into an oldie but goodie. This is going to be the Fit Me Matte and Poreless from Maybelline. This is in the shade 120 Classic Ivory. And I'm hoping this is my shade because I haven't used it in so long that I don't remember how it matched for me. So I'm going to take a little bit on the Beauty Blender, and I'm going to hope that this is a good match. So the sponge is shearing it out a little bit more than I remember liking. So I'm just switching to a brush because a lot of these matte foundations, because of the formula, a sponge just shears them out a little bit more. So I'm going to go in with a brush first just to make sure we keep most of that coverage. And then going into the sponge, I'm just going to kind of pat everything in. I think the shade is a little bit light, but we will make it work. For concealer, I'm going to grab the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define in the shade C5. And this is going to be pretty smoky for the eyeshadow today. Whenever I'm going in with what I consider to be like a really smoky eye look, I will take my concealer and I won't take it all the way into the under eye. I will just kind of take it down the side of the face to brighten, but I will leave the immediate under eye area open, just like that, because that's all going to get covered with shadow anyway, and by adding concealer too high up, it just, for my sake, it makes me a little bit less comfortable with creasing, because I know I can trust my under eyes not to really settle unless I go in with like heavy concealers and powders. So just the less layers there, the better. I am going to grab my Coty Airspun powder, which you guys know, the best affordable powder that there is. So I'm just going to take that and dust it all over the entire face. I do use the translucent extra coverage powder. I know they have like 7 different translucent powders, but going in with the one with a little extra coverage, especially on a day where my foundation is a little too light, I find just kind of helps everything marry together nicely. So one of the biggest mistakes you can make when you are doing your eyeshadow is, one of the biggest mistakes you can do when doing complexion is not giving it time to dry down before you start adding bronzer. So if I add bronzer right now, because the skin is a little too light, I'm going to go overboard on it, and the foundation hasn't even dried down all the way. So I'm going to finish the eyes first and give the foundation a chance to oxidize and dry down. So that way, by the time I'm ready to throw bronzer on, hopefully it's darkened up a little bit so that it's matching a little better. That way I can use less bronzer. So to start, I'm going to take that fluffy brush that I have been using. I'm going to just take it in the color switch so that I don't have to worry about adding too much pigment. See how much better that looks? I mean, I do still have to clean it today, but I don't clean my brushes every day. Come at me. I'm going to take, to start, the medium toned orange shade, and I'm going to take it just on the very tip of this, and I'm just going to connect the outer and middle portion of the lower lash line into where it meets the upper lash. Alright, I'm going to grab no, this is an affordable video. I need an affordable liner. I'm going to grab this is a bronze liner from ColourPop. The shade is Get Paid. And I'm going to take this in my waterline. Then on a small pencil brush, I'm going to go into that chocolatey brown. I just realized that these have shade names. The shade TWM, the chocolatey brown. And I'm going to blend that just underneath the liner. Taking back into that fluffy brush, I'm just going to kind of blend those colors together to make sure that it is smoked out nicely. Then I'm going to go into this long brown shade Cuppa, and I'm going to take that on a thicker pencil brush, and I'm just going to kind of buff that from the middle to the inner corner of the eye. And this is kind of toning down the orange a little bit. What I find, especially when you are as fair as I am, when you go in with these orangey shades or anything that's a little too warm on the lower lash line, it'll make you look sick and almost jaundicey. So you want to make sure that you take a nice neutral brown just to blend that together so it looks a little bit less like Sickly Vampire, but a little more Pumpkin Spice Latte. Next, I'm going to take the shade Hun right here, which is like a pinky shimmer, and I'm going to press that on the inner corner. That is stunning. And using the other side of the brush, I'm just going to kind of pat it out a little bit. This, and you guys will be seeing it in my October favorites because I'm obsessed. This is a two-sided brush that came with my Dose of Colors palettes. It was like the brush that was included in it. I don't like it for like eyeshadow. I find that it is a little too small and a little too stiff. But this has become like my new favorite inner corner highlight brush. I use the stiff pointy side to deposit the color. Then I go into the fluff side and I just lightly diffuse the outside of it, and it just becomes this blinding, beautiful pinpoint inner corner. Next, I'm going to take the AOA Studio Go Brow, which is like a $1 product, and I'm just going to comb this through my brows just to fill them in and deepen them up a little bit. And now that we've finished the eyes and we've given the face a little bit more time to warm up, it's still a little light. So I'm going to grab a pressed powder. This one is from Collab Beauty. It is the Kill the Shine pressed powder in the shade Ivory Sand. And I'm going to take that on a nice fluffy brush. And I'm just going to add a little bit of this to the face, because this is just a tad darker than the foundation and the Coty Airspun powder. So I think this will just give us a very nice complexion and deepen it up so that we match a little bit more. Okay, so I blended out the foundation powder and everything looked a little bit too light still. So I noticed my white balance was off. I fixed it and I think everything's looking a little bit nicer now. I'm not gonna lie, it's still a little light, but we haven't done bronzer or contour yet. So I'm going to start with bronzer. This is the Maybelline City Bronzer in the shade 100. And I'm going to take that on a nice fluffy brush. I've been really liking this bronzer lately. And I'm going to start. With most bronzers, you guys will notice like I start buffing immediately. With this one, I kind of like to stamp it on first and then blend it in. I just find it deposits the color a little bit better, and it allows it to blend a little bit easier. And you see how the face just looks so much better shaped when I pat it in first and then buff. Then to contour, I'm going to go into the Catrice Prime and Fine Professional Contour Palette. This is a really cute little duo. I'm going to take the contour shade to gently contour the sides of the nose. And then I'm going to take that same shade and I'm just going to really chisel out the cheek and jaw. So today I am actually going to highlight before blush. So I'm going to take that highlight side and I'm just going to make the cheekbones, I was about to say glow, but this seems a little bit more of like a natural highlight. Definitely a little bit of a softer highlight, so I'm going to grab from Maybelline. This is the Master Chrome in the shade 250. And I'm going to take a little bit of this. There we go. And just really get that cheekbone blinding. And if that looks like a lot, it's because it is, because I haven't gone in with blush yet, and I'm going to be taking a matte blush on top of this. This is also from Collab Beauty. This is the Soft Spot Sheer Blush in the shade Just for Fun. And I'm going to press that over the cheek area, and I'm actually going to blend that into the highlight, which will soften it just a touch. So because the eyes are so warm, this is more of a mauve shade. It is coming off a little bit gray. So I'm going to grab a different blush. This is going to be my Milani Baked Blush in Luminoso. It's more peachy, which I think is just going to complement the eye look a little bit more. I was hoping for like that mauvey blush to be a little bit more of like a contrasting blush because I didn't want to go too matchy, but I don't think it worked well enough. So I think this is going to be, yeah, that's much better. All right, I'm going to grab that primer and setting spray from Wet n Wild and just take down any powderiness one last time. And grabbing my favorite affordable nude lip, this is the What's Your Sign Luxe Lipstick from Kathleen Lights and ColourPop. And I'm just going to take that right on the lip. Because you guys know I love a glossy moment, I'm going to grab the Plumping Serum Lip Gloss from Hard Candy. I mean, clearly I've used it. Clearly I like it. This is in the shade 1409 Sunkissed. And I'm going to layer that right over the lipstick. And that is the finished look. So thank you guys so much for joining me in my Thotumn on a Budget, affordable fall pumpkin spice inspired glam. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. If you did, make sure to let me know down below. And don't forget, affordable products can be just as amazing as some of the luxury and high-end products. So thanks again, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.